What's up, guys? My name is Jerry, and today's video is going to be on the Houston Rockets, and we're going to be talking about how they may have gotten another steal in the NBA draft, and we're going to jump right into the video. Now, the Houston Rockets have the potential to get back-to-back steals in the NBA draft. We look at what they did in the 2021 NBA draft. They had multiple first-round picks. They had the second overall pick that turned into Jalen Green. And then later in the first round, they drafted Alperen Sengun with the 16th overall pick. And I think he was a draft steal. Watching him and how he played during the second half of the season, he flashed so much potential, and then he started to be so dominant on the low block that teams started to double team him just to get the ball out of his hands. And we fast forward to the 2022 NBA draft, and the Houston Rockets were kinda in the same situation. They had multiple first round picks. They had the third overall pick that turned into Jabari Smith, and then later in the round they had the 17th overall pick who turned into Tari Eason. I think he has the potential to be the biggest steal in this NBA draft. Now, when I look at Tari Eason, I'm so shocked that he fell this low. When I made my mock draft, I had him going at number 7 to the Portland Trail Blazers. I thought they could have really used him, but he ended up falling to 17 to the Houston Rockets, and I think Houston has gotten themselves a great pickup. Now, when we look at an NBA player and we ask that question, what makes them a draft steal? I think the first thing we gotta ask is, why did this player fall so low? Now, we look at Tari Eason and how NBA scouts evaluated his game. They had two major concerns. They felt like he had a lack of feel for the game, and also they felt like his jump shot was a bit unorthodox for the NBA level. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the assumption that he has a lack of feel for the game of basketball. NBA scouts said at times he could look like a bull in a china shop, or that he's playing too out of control and he could gamble and make mistakes. And I think that's simply not true. And I think this is one of those rare cases that Tari Eason is one of those players that he just has physical and athletic gifts that other players doesn't have, and he's well aware of that, and he just tries to make a lot of great basketball plays. And I think this is one of them situations where NBA scouts have gotten courage mixed with ignorance. I think Tari Eason, when he's on defense, he just has one goal. If you're not on the same team as him, he's going to try to take that ball away from you. And 9 times out of 10, watching him on defense, he always makes a great defensive play, but it's those rare moments when he does make a mistake and the gamble does not pay off. It makes him look like a low field player. And me personally, I think he's one of the smarter defensive players in this draft class, and that's his specialty. So I definitely think he does not have a lack of feel when it comes to defense. Now, NBA scouts also had concerns about Tari Eason's jump shot, and they called it unorthodox. Now, when I think of an unorthodox NBA jumper, I think of NBA players like Sean Marion and Kevin Martin. And when I see Tari Eason shoot the basketball, I don't think his shooting form is as funky as those two guys. But nonetheless, Kevin Martin and Sean Marion, even though they had ugly forms, they shot the hell out of the ball from the three-point line. And my point in bringing that up is that results matter more than the process. If the form is ugly but the guy is knocking down three-point shots, I don't think that really matters. And when we look at Tari Eason in college, he shot the three ball at a 36% clip, which is very respectable. I know I'm not going to sag off a guy that's knocking down threes at a 36% rate. So if he can carry that into the NBA and shoot somewhere near that or replicate that, I think that'd be great for Tari Eason. And then also, so far in the summer league, and I know it's just the summer league, but it's still shooting the basketball, he's knocked down numerous jump shots. So these two concerns about Tari Eason, I think they're very far-fetched, and I think they were a bit over-exaggerated. And nonetheless, there's still so much to love about Tari Eason and his game. And what I love about him is his physical attributes. Tari Eason stands at 6'8", and he has a 7'2" wingspan, and then he also had the largest hands in the NBA draft. He's giving off some Kawhi Leonard vibes with his frame, and you gotta love this type of body type when a guy's main skill is playing defense, and that's exactly what Tari Eason was known for at the collegiate level. He was a forward that could guard 1 through 4. Sometimes he could guard 1 through 5, but he is just so elite on the defensive side of the ball. He's so big and he's so athletic, and then he has the lateral quickness, so whoever he's guarding is going to have a very tough time scoring the basketball on him. And what makes him so elite defensively is that he can play great defense in multiple situations. He's not just engaged on defense if he's guarding the player with the basketball, but he's so great as a help defender, and he always has his teammates back. He rotates from the weak side, the strong side. If he's helping in the pick and roll, he's going to be there to help his teammates, and then he's great at playing the passing lanes with those long arms. So Tari Eason is a stud on defense, and I could definitely see him making multiple all-defensive teams later in his career. And then offensively, he's not too shabby too. We already discussed his three-point shooting ability. He hit 36% of his threes in college, which isn't too bad. But what I think is so underrated about his game is that he has the ability to start and finish the fast break. He's great at rebounding, and then he's great in the open court at putting the ball on the floor and taking it coast to coast to get to the rim for a finish. And then in the half court, I think he's going to fit in well alongside guys like Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green. He's going to be great at cutting, setting screens, and getting to the rim. And I think he's going to fit in well with this Houston Rockets team, and he's going to give them some much needed help in their front court in terms of defending and just being a dynamic playmaker. So I'm very excited to see what Tari Eason is going to do with the Houston Rockets. And I just think he has that potential to be the biggest steal in this draft. And I know he was still picked fairly high in the NBA draft at 17, but like I said, I had this guy going at number 7. He fell 10 spots below that, and I thought that was crazy. And then last year, I felt like they got a steal in Alperen Sengun because he just turned into a stud in the second half of the season. He turned into a low block monster, and his game just doesn't stop there, but he's also a great playmaker. And I just think things are going great for the Houston Rockets. And I want to go back to Tari Eason. I think him and Jabari Smith have a legit chance to be one of the best defensive tandems in the NBA. You look at these two guys who were known for being tenacious defenders at the collegiate level, and then you factor in that they have elite size, elite athleticism, and elite length. I can see both of these guys, whenever they play together, they're going to be causing some real headaches for the opposing team's offense. And I don't think people realize how good of a pickup Jabari Smith was for the Houston Rockets. I thought out of those guys who were projected to go top 3, I thought Jabari Smith fit in the best with the Houston Rockets, and nobody thought he was going to fall to them. And then, boom, he fell right into their laps. Well, when I look at him and how he's going to fit with their offense, I think it's just going to be perfect because they already have two guys who like to have the ball in their hands a lot, and Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green. And Jabari Smith is a player who can be so effective without the basketball, whether it's cutting, running the floor. And we all know the best part of his offensive game right now is his catch and shoot ability. So with those two guys attracting so much attention on offense, it's going to leave him some wide open shots, and then vice versa. With him being a scoring threat, it's going to leave so many more scoring opportunities for those two guards. So Jabari Smith was also a great pickup for the Houston Rockets. And then I'm very intrigued to see what Jalen Green is going to do next season. I think he's about to take a big leap forward. I love what I saw from him from the second half of the season, and he showed us once he got adjusted to the speed of the NBA and the skill level, he showed us just how much of a dynamic and how much of an explosive scorer he can be. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this Houston Rockets team. Definitely going to be watching more of them next season. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man, and that's curtains.